Welcome back to London Beautiful Life. My name's Lanaghan and we're here at the FrightFest at Odeon, Leicester Square.
And I've also got to ask, you're both a part of the Riverdale universe and you're part of Cerina. What was it like on that?
It's so crazy that you mentioned that because I actually ran into Roberto in London. He was going and he was watching plays here, and I just all of a sudden he was hugging me, and it was such a surreal moment. I absolutely love those people. It's such a pivotal part of my life. I feel like I learned what unconditional love meant being a part of that cast. And Roberto's just such a joy to work with, and they're all my friends. I mean, we're still in a group chat together, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream, right? You grew up reading Archie comics and all of a sudden you're brought into the Riverdale universe. It's very, very exciting. Getting to face off with Cheryl Blossom was incredible. I had the most fun. And actually, my stunt double on Riverdale is also my stunt double in this movie, Tally. Shout out to her. She's wonderful. There's a line there.
So Shauna, we're here at FrightFest and it's 20 years since the release of The Descent. Did you still think it was going to be such a big thing 20 years on?
No, I didn't think it would be such a big thing 20 years on. I don't think anybody did. It's incredible that it's lived such a long life. I mean, I was 23 when I shot it. I'm now 44, and I feel like I've lived a long life in that time. And then I meet Molly, who played my daughter Jessica in it, who's now this gorgeous 28-year-old woman. I'm like, oh my God, it has been like a lifetime. So I'm thrilled to be back, and I never thought I'd be here 20 years later.
Yeah. And it's such an iconic classic film. When you look back and watch it or you talk about it, surely there's things off screen that you hold personal to your heart, maybe funny stories. What springs to mind when you think about it?
Oh gosh, so it took a lot of showering after we wrapped, and then we'd go to the pub, and then we'd have to say to each other, "By that, you've still got blood in your ear. You need to go and wash that off in the toilet." So we worked hard, and we also did party quite hard at that time because none of us had any responsibilities. We hadn't had children at that time and whatever. So my sort of abiding memory is just laughing a lot with the girls, going to the pub after work with the girls, and then just spending all day in the dark with these crazy women. But we've all stayed in contact and stayed really good friends. We've got a WhatsApp group, 6 Girls That Go Caving it's called, and so even just to get lifelong friends as a woman, it's been worth it.
Did you guys ever actually consider going caving together?
We did go caving together.
Was it scary?
It was awful. Don't go caving.
Your film put me off.
It's horrendous. It's so claustrophobic. It's really cold. You've got no idea where you're going. It's really dark, and you've really got to concentrate on not panicking, and that's without any monsters. That's when nothing is going wrong. You've just got to. It's overwhelming because it's like a really odd temperature underground. I think it was 9 degrees, and you feel the weight of the world above you. And you see these fossils in the walls and you think, I shouldn't be here. This is not where humans should be.
How would you compare actual caving to the set? Because it was so realistic, watching it as a viewer.
So realistic. Simon Bowles is incredible, and he's gone on to win numerous awards for this and for his other productions, because we caught him at the beginning of his career, and he's just sensational. The only thing that was different was the feel, because it was polystyrene, so it was a bit spongy. And there's some scenes that we had to do additional dialogue replacement, ADR, for it, because we're scraping against it. It's that doesn't sound like rock, that sounds like polystyrene. But to look at it, we walked on the set for the first day and we're like, I can't believe it. It looks like caving. Real. It looks real, yeah.
And was it actually, did you get claustrophobia while filming?
There's a scene where Sarah gets stuck, and we had to shoot it from various different angles, and you have to put the camera at different angles, so you have to take out walls and put other walls in. And although it's polystyrene, you are getting buried. So I did not like that at all. I did feel claustrophobic at those points. But there was a heavy amount of acting involved.
Yes.
But sometimes, especially if you're hyperventilating and things, you cannot stop your body physically reacting to what you're pretending to do. So, you get this claw hand where things curl up. literally, and it's because you've been acting like you're hyperventilating, but your body just goes into that sort of trauma response.
That's probably what makes it so organic too. Like it feels so real, but if your body's actually reacting.
Well, that's it. You're always dancing with keeping yourself safe, but trying to do an authentic performance. I remember having horrendous nightmares when I was. Yeah.
And do you still get those nightmares?
No, I feel like when my kids are scared, when they were younger, when my kids were scared, I'm like, I'm the queen of horror. I'll sort them all out. Don't you worry about the monsters. I've got, yeah.
So what was your most memorable moment?
That's a hard one to answer for me. I mean, it was like a non-stop focus. We were kind of all in one space doing page after page after page, and it was really intense. These guys are amazing. Ella-Rae and the rest of the cast just dialed in, and it was really like this stressful, emotionally challenging thing to do. The script was pretty dialed. That there's kind of a gore aspect of it, a terror aspect to it, and a real psychological, I think, aspect too, where a lot of what's happening is everybody's just trying to figure out what's going on, and my character is kind of psychologically with everybody. So it's kind of like home.
Do you know what? I would say the most memorable part was that we shot the movie chronologically, which is really unusual.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, but it also meant that the lines between real life and the movie got slightly blurred, which I think is really helpful as an actor, but also slightly terrifying when you die one by one and then your castmates start disappearing, and by the end it's just me alone in the hotel going, where have all my friends gone? I think that was really memorable because it's really special and really unique to be able to work in that way.
And then it was also motivating, like, you know, on the weekends when you're off, you go to the Coliseum and you go, yeah, a lot of heads were popped in here. So
I've also got
constantly working.
That's how I felt the Coliseum though. When I went to the Coliseum, I was like, they understand me.
I also want to quickly ask you about Watchmen and Nightmare on Elm Street. What was that like working on them?
That was those are both awesome experiences. I think Watchmen is one of the coolest things I've ever worked on, getting to work with Zack Snyder, and that was a 6-month endeavor. The thing was huge, and that was just a real honor to get to play such a seminal character in a seminal comic book thing, and I think Zach did an incredible job with that. That was really one of the highlights of my life working on that thing.
And A Nightmare on Elm Street, what was that like?
That was really challenging in like a different way. It was fun, but it was brutal just because of 3 hours in the makeup, an hour to get out. So there were some 17-hour days. Really enjoyed working with the people on that.
Katie Cassidy's in that, isn't she? Katie Cassidy?
Yeah, she was awesome. All the kids were great. Rooney I thought was incredible, and her career just really took off on that. And I actually dig that flick. I think it turned out really good. It's it seemed to be like a higher budgeted sort of Nightmare on Elm Street, and it showed, and it was kind of cool.
They're doing a remake. Would you go back to the new remake?
I think I'm not totally sure, but I think what happened with that is, like, not long after that movie, the rights of Nightmare on Elm Street reverted back to the Wes Craven estate. And I think, and I guess they decided to just sit on it for a while. So
was it scary? Like, I always watch horror movies and I'm like, how are these actors like filming the scene and then just going home and sleeping? Like, what do you do to like decompress and take yourself away from the scene?
We all had so much fun together. This was a lot of our first projects, and we were all staying at the same spot, so we'd spend 12, 16 hours on set, and then we go back and we just like all hang out, laugh about the day and stuff. So there was a lot of decompression involved, and we all got along so well, which you don't always get the fortune of that happening. So I think that was a lot of it, just working with fantastic people, and that was kind of the reprieve there.
I mean, like, being the person who's gonna scare people, it's fun. It's not scary at all. To think like how to scare people is really enjoyable. Yeah,
I love that. And then who was like the jokester on the cast? Like, there's always one who like does all the pranks, does all the silly stuff. Out of all your cast, who would you say that is? He knows who.
Oh my God, they're standing right behind camera right now. everybody was so funny and made jokes, but this whole dynamic right here, we have Tony and Mason back there who played Clyde and Candace. There was a lot of jokes being everybody. We were laughing so much,
They're just goofing around, on set and off set.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if there's a different character that you could play, who would it be? Completely different. Male or female, doesn't matter.
In the film?
And this film.
I would say maybe it'd be fun to play Clyde, be more of like, a meaner stoner. My character was completely the opposite of that. So I think it'd be fun to do something like that, or be the killer. It'd be so much fun to be the killer, so.
I would go with wait, not Tony. Oh my god. Oh damn it. Candace, yes. Oh yes, you just blinked. Yeah.
And on a scale from 1 to 10 for a horror movie lovers, what would you rate this? Like slash gory horror, why would it go on the scale?
So sorry, can you say that question again?
On like a scale of 1 to 10 and gore horror / movie, where would you put it?
We're at we're pushing 8, it's a slasher for sure. You gotta like the slasher genre. You have to appreciate what this type of film is, the campiness, the homage to the 90s, and if you like those types of things, this is your type of film.
Yeah.
And was it a messy film to film then? A messy set?
Blood? Yeah,
Blood,
a lot of blood.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Now I remember. Yeah, it was a lot of blood, and also a lot of water that because we always needed to be like wet, I guess, especially our scenes outside of near the end, and when we are escaping from the killer. Outside was raining and we were all wet, and it was like during the October in Spokane. It was really chilly. It was cold, 30 degrees. That's like 18 Celsius.
Yeah.
I don't know. No.
Oh.
That's zero. Yeah. No, sorry, not 18. 30. How do you say that? Fahrenheit. Yeah.
And then I did see you over there doing some cool moves, and I just turned around and I saw what is that? Like, I'm so curious.
So that's part of a Wing Chun. Have you watched Ip Man? No. So that's it's famous for. Oh, Bruce Lee learned that technique. Wow. It's called the Wing Chun, and I learned that in China. So yeah, I just showed a little bit of that part. Yeah.
Can we see a little?
I can try.
You could.
And dress and
you have space and dress and a fabulous dress at that.
Have you seen the chain punch? Yes. It's famous that the Wing Chun is famous for their chain punch. That you have to go fast, so your opponent wouldn't hit you back. Okay. Yeah. So it's basically you like this, and then you punch like a straight punch, and then you go quicker. Like that.
She could beat the crap out of me.
Everyone spoke about it being 90s feel. How did you like doing it like that with the music and the 90s vibe?
Yeah, it was easy because you get to go back and listen to good music. And Jeff, the director, for me, I don't know if he did this for you, but he sent me a playlist of my character. I think he did that for everybody, but sent me a playlist of 90s music for my character, so that was very helpful.
I agree. I think doing a 90s piece made it all the more fun. You've got great music, great fashion, even the vehicles in the film. It's just so nice to be able to do a flashback like that.
And everyone seems like such a nice cast. Like, you all seem like a little family and connected. Like, who was your closest person on set? When you're having a rough day and you're just tired, like, who did you grab out to?
I would say Hunter. I met Hunter the first night that I got into Spokane where we shot the film. And we ended up sitting at a bar for a little too long in Spokane. Bonding, yeah. Character work.
For me, Ella-Rae, I had my first scene with her, and she's just a sweetheart. I think she was kind of that source for everybody, and she really was like the unit that kind of corralled us all together.
And what was the biggest challenges that you faced in the whole movie, or just with your own character?
Maybe just living in, this is not a diss to Spokane at all, but living in Spokane for a month. It was cold.
Okay.
I'm from California, and I'm not used to the cold.
Definitely cold. I can attest to that. I think for me, finding a way to play the character from a truthful place without it ever playing on the shock factor of it. I wanted to make sure that was done right.
And then I've asked everyone, how would you decompress, leaving a horror set? It's very deep, it's intense filming. how do you then go home and just walk down the street and like smile at people and like how do you be okay? What does your therapist tell you?
Oh boy. A big kudos to our producers. They made this set feel like as soon as they called cut, it was light immediately. They made it such a good time. They took such good care of us that I don't think any of us ever felt in a dark place when we were there.
Yeah, I never felt like I was in a dark place. I like to bring my guitar with me everywhere, and that's a bit of a therapeutic.
Okay, so that's kind of what sets you in between. Like just play a little guitar. I say little, I don't know. And what would you do?
I would sing along to Liam playing the guitar.
You guys are a duo.
Keep everybody up in the hotel.
How did you guys get involved in it, and what were your highlights of it?
Well, I got involved with my friend Anthony, who's not here.
I know, he should.
Where are you?
He's on a movie.
Yeah, he's working. Got me involved, and we've worked together on some stuff that he's produced and made before. And this is sort of relationship based. And he just kind of sent me the script and said, "You wanna be in this?" I said, "Yeah, I get to beat you up. Sure, heck yeah." So.
For me, I didn't know Anthony or any of the filmmakers before I signed on. It was sent to my agent like any other sort of like audition or appointment. It actually wasn't an audition, it was an offer, but I had just
only.
Offer only.
Come on.
I had just said no. I had plenty of auditions. So many auditions. But I had just said maybe a week prior, I want to play a villain. Like, give me a good villain. Like, it's time for that. And so
You're so mean in real life. It's surprising that you don't play more villains. It's like weird.
So this landed in my email, and I was like, well, this is definitely the villain. It was a totally wild, absurd, crazy
It feels
thing.
like it was written for you.
It
really does. I like swear to God, I feel like it's so funny.
When it comes to horror films, how fun are they to film compared to like I guess a rom-com or other like types of like drama? You could talk about Cabin Fever as well.
Okay, listen. I feel like with other, like every genre, everything is different. Like every television series, brand of comedy, it feels different. With horror, it's a different. Like our right minds know that there's not really like monsters or like that the blood isn't real and like death scenes like. There is no like rehearsing that stuff. Like you just have to like go for it, right? So it's like a different feeling than doing some sort of like emotional breakdown Lifetime drama where like your daughter is like dead in the water. Like different like feeling about it. It's so much fun.
I mean, you kind of nailed it. It really is like you really have to. Okay, there's a huge look, whatever it is. You have to pretend that it's there and come up with real emotions to like. Follow that, and it's tough, but
I think that's what makes our movie so fun is that it's totally absurd, but we all play it as that this is truth,
real.
This is real, and like we are so. This is our reality, and I feel like it's really believable.
Some good some good campy moments came from that. Some good like real stuff came from that. It's fun. It's like a fun whirlwind of.
What was your most memorable day on set? Like, is there a day that really stood out to you that was really fun to film or even challenging maybe?
Well, the first day she showed up on her first day. We had to like do like kissy stuff. I was like, "Hi, I'm Jordan. We have to do kissy stuff." Hey,
it was like our like little love scene was, and it's like we just literally met on set, like not even in the makeup chair. It was like, "Hi, nice to meet you."
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of fun. It was like a good little.
It was. They throw you into it. That was fun. Edy and I got to do a cat fight.
The fights were so great.
Like I took off my heel and I threw it at her, and I did.
The fights are crazy good, honestly, and no other. I don't want to spoil stuff, but it's some good action stuff.
Why do you think people love horror films so much as well? And also, Cabin Fever, amazing.
Thank you.
What was that like working on that?
Cabin Fever? Oh wow! I mean, similar.
I'm a fan, so I'm gonna like listen. Like
iconic.
It has become an iconic thing, and I feel so grateful that I got to be a part of that. You know, we don't get to choose what we get cast in. You know, and so I'm like, if it weren't for Cabin Fever, I wouldn't be standing here today in Don't Let the Cat Out. Like that movie has helped me get other really fun genre roles.
They're remaking it, aren't they?
They remade it, but There's
never
nothing
be
like the original. Yeah, that just makes me feel old, but similar. Like we got to go all over the world with that movie, and we were here right down the street where it premiered.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was
I didn't know that. Wow.
And it was an Eli Roth film, wasn't it? I love Thanksgiving as well. I'm really excited for Thanksgiving too.
I enjoyed. That was super cool. Fun.
But why do you think people love horror films so much?
What was that?
Why do you think people love horror films?
That's a great question. I think it's just, I think the reason I love them, it's because it goes back into like putting ourselves in these situations that like, hopefully we're never, I mean, you know, we probably won't be in. And I think there's just something alluring about trying to see the human condition in those moments and like how it, no, go to the left and go to the right. It's like you are really intrinsically like involved in those stories when you're watching them. So I totally think that's probably the reason. Like, sucks you in.
It sucks you in and takes you out of your own life for a minute, right? If you're watching some sort of like romantic drama or something, it can make you think about your own love struggles in relationships or your own childhood or whatever. But like horror, I think, can take you more out of your own life, like as a viewer, maybe. But as an actor, like it's really fun to play some sort of insane kind of role and like make it real and figure out what happened to that person to make them so insane. That part's fun.
When do you do all the like interviews, like you do all the casting?
Yes. So in the casting process, you know, once the actors were interested, they wanted to talk to the filmmaker. And, you know, it would be like 20-minute Zooms would turn into like hour, 2-hour Zooms. And then, we didn't have money for rehearsal. So instead of doing rehearsal, what I did is I would do Zooms with the actors, and I created like a 15-page backstory on their, like, here's like what happened to you in second grade. Here was where your first kiss was.
Them all the layers.
I gave them all the layers that we agreed on, and I go, anything now going forward is yours. But anything before that, we build on it together, so that when they did walk on set, even if we're shooting out of order, they at least felt empowered enough that they could sort of like, you know what I mean? They knew where they had been, so there wasn't that many questions.
That's amazing. I find a lot of people that would really help them. Like,
I mean, you should talk to this one. Perfect timing to bring her in.
Hello.
What was it like working with Ritesh Gupta?
Like I said, it was horrible. Honestly, did not enjoy it. No, he's awesome. I already talked so highly about you.
She just asked me, she's like, how do you work with the actors? I said, we didn't have money for rehearsals. So
my gosh.
I created a 15-page backstory for her.
And thankfully we went through everything beforehand, because if we didn't, it would be a disaster. Like, it would have been chaos.
Because on set, you don't have time to answer too many questions. But I also wanted it for the actors like Inanna. I wanted them to have enough trust and confidence that they knew that character as well. Like, they just knew the little things that had happened. Down to, we talked about their first date, Alina and Dietz's first date. You know what I mean?
Our favorite song.
Their favorite song.
What was the favorite song?
I don't remember. It was on a playlist.
Yeah, it's on the playlist. I have the playlist.
It was like
it's on my Spotify.
It was like what's her name? It's on the tip of my tongue. It was a slow dance song.
It was. Unfortunately, we couldn't use it. We didn't have the money to buy it.
Yeah, I know. He made me pick a favorite song. I was like, oh, are we going to be dancing to, that scene where we're dancing in the kitchen?
We can't afford that. Stop talking foolishly.
Or even, honestly, the revenge part, we had a song in place and I really wanted it, but now this is the first time I saw it with all the music and everything, and it was so good.
Yeah, you haven't even seen the movie before.
No, this is my first time watching it.
Are you excited? How are you feeling about that?
Honestly, it was so much better than I, in my head, thought it was going to be. And also, I just never saw it all come together. So when I went for ADR, there was no music, no color, no nothing. So, and I just would see one clip. I'm like, I want to see the rest.
I know.
So
She's
I'm happy.
show me the rest. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I'm happy we get to see it all.
You can wait 3 weeks for the.
Or even the kill scene, with it all come together. Yeah. It was nice to just see it all.
Is there a lot of cuts that haven't made it? Are we missing out on a few things, or yes, big scenes?
Yeah, the whole.
We'll talk about that later.
There was a specialty scene that took us a while to shoot, and then we ended up. Yeah,
it ended up hitting the cutting room floor, but I would say 96% of what's shot is in the movie.
Oh, my boxing scene where I had to do a boxing part. I was like, wait, I just realized there was a dog that kept walking in the shot, so that's probably why it
I
couldn't
was
be.
like, where's that dog?
Yeah, there was a dog.
He's like, hey, I thought craft service was over here.
So we kept having to cut the shot, and I kept having to redo like this boxing bag bit. And
You're like, no, I can punch harder. I'm like, don't punch harder. You're like, no, I can punch harder. And then at take 7, she's like, I think I broke.
I think I like messed up my knuckle a little bit, but for the most part, I feel like most of the shots were used.
Yeah. And what was your favorite scene in the movie?
Am I gonna say the one that I thought I was gonna hate?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was like I was super nervous about the Ryan kill. Am I spoiling alert? I was really nervous about a killing scene, but the killing scene ended up being my favorite part. Like the revenge segment for sure. I'm like OCD. Like, there's a hair on that.
And did you feel anybody in the cast was really related to their character? Like, who is most like their character as a cast member?
I think everybody brought a little bit of something. Like Jake is just so naturally funny. Oh my God, he's
Humor
so
was
funny.
definitely in there. I think Jake's my favorite character. Like he was so funny and relatable, and then you kind of don't want him to die, but then he has a twist, so it it still read good. I feel like he's the most like his character in terms of his comedy in it. Yeah. And then I don't know, am I like my character?
Oh yeah, you're badass.
Okay.
Your transformation, you're badass.
All right. What else?
We're here at the premiere. How excited are you for the movie to come out?
Well, it's what a wonderful moment to be playing here in this. I mean, we've got 700 or 800 screen, and it's basically sold out. So this is just it's just mind blowing. I'm so excited.
And what made you want to be part of this movie?
Well, the script was really brilliant. I actually was approached by Simon here at FrightFest a year ago to the day. And Greg Day introduced us, and Simon then presented me with the script, and we met up and we started talking, and that's how I came to be involved. So, it's part of FrightFest, DNA. And I wanted to do it because I loved the script and I loved the character, and I could see lots of interesting things I could do with it, because he's an expat vicar who is living in Bangkok and he's a nice, decent, lovely guy who has a family, a warm family with his daughter and his wife, and then that family becomes thrust into a horrible situation when the daughter goes missing. And I just loved the character and that whole dramatic premise, and it's a beautifully written script by Simon.
Did you find any challenges trying to get into the character? Like, as nice and wholesome the family feel is, but was there any challenges with it?
Well, for me, no. I mean, it's hard work creating something that's good, but the actual, I found it a wonderful process because Simon's very experienced and he's very approachable, very easy to talk to. And when we kind of worked on the ideas for the character, and I met him and we talked about it constantly over 3 months before we were filming. We didn't really have any formal rehearsal time, but Simon's very open, very knowledgeable, and he likes actors, and so it was always going to be a good thing, and that was one of the main reasons for wanting to do it as well.
And I know you've done lots of different genres before. You've done funny, family, romance, you've done everything. And horror, like, what is your favorite genre to play around with? Where do you feel you have the most creative freedom?
Well, the fact that I've been to FrightFest basically every year since I started. I must have one of those faces. But my career started in comedy. As as doing live comedy and television comedy, and I sort of gradually started doing bits of horror films, and whatever came up really in horror was another genre. But it seems to be those two things are my where I find the best characters. They're it's like a sense of joy and fun to both horror and comedy. It's also really difficult. They're the most difficult genres that you can have. Because if they don't work, either of those genres, it's boring. The audience just looking at you. Anyway, don't want to talk about it.
So I'm not a huge scary person. I'm a bit of a scaredy pants. Is it spooky on set when you're doing a horror movie? How is that?
It can be, because often it depends what you're doing, and sometimes you're playing really dark character, or you've got a really intense scene that involves something quite unpleasant. I mean, doing a whole day doing specifically if you have to do a horrible scene with someone, and you know, filming takes ages, you have to repeat doing this horrible thing with that, you know, that can be, I mean, you oh God. But between takes, you're generally just laughing around and goofing around, and you know, some of the most sort of dark and disturbing stuff I've done has been the most fun, because you're letting off steam between takes and having a laugh. If you get on with the people, you're just having a laugh.
So then when you do leave after those dark and deep moments, do you have anything specifically to cool you down, just to like, okay, let's lighten up, let's loosen the mood, have a good night's sleep? Like, what loosens you up after that?
Well, I don't know, I think just joking, really, telling jokes, riffing, being an idiot, being basically an 8-year-old child.
Yeah, gotta love that. And we can't ignore the fact that you have been in the Doctor Who series, the whole universe, which is incredible. It's such a huge thing. I know that there's a big name coming back. First feelings, anything to say about that?
Well, brilliant. And I mean, I love Doctor Who. It's sort of part of I grew up loving it when I was a child. It's one of my favourite programmes, and it was a wonderful moment to be in it. And I think it has a journey through time. It's been about 70 years now. Anyway,
it goes through all the generations. I find it just keeps on evolving.
And it changes with each style, with each generation. It's lovely. Yeah.
We are here at the FrightFest festival. You guys have been here so much in the past. Big horror movie people. Excited to be here?
Yeah, we love FrightFest. It is top of the line for us. It's always a thrill to be able to come back here, and now to kind of be veterans. I think that it's an honor.
I love FrightFest. What else needs to be said? It's such an event festival, and we love helping make it an event. So it's great.
That's awesome. We love having you here. So what is particularly exciting about this film that we should look forward to seeing?
I think it's very. I think the word topical is bandied about, but it is very like some stuff that's like straight ripped from the headlines, but on our terms. We're just very interested in the way people engage with the internet and how that translates to real life and family and identity and passage of time. So I think that there's just some things that will feel relevant in terms of just some strange behavior choices that some people make sometimes.
I like the side eye you gave me just then.
You, Molly.
And what is something in the movie that's really exciting for you that you've maybe never done before, or
the dream sequence stuff maybe?
Yeah, there's a fantasy dream sequence in this movie where we got to play with a really interesting rig that we tested out, and it's new terrain for us, but it felt so of the moment in the movie. And in the doing of it, we just found ourselves excited like we were kids making a movie, for the first time, but at this level. So I'm excited for people to see that.
Well, you guys are brothers.
Yes.
Did horror movies bond you growing up? Was that something that you enjoyed doing together, watching?
Scream was formative for us for sure. We watched it slightly too young, got it from the library. We made a lot of little home movies growing up. I think one we started and never finished was called Lights, Camera, Scream, and so maybe that'll be our next project.
Yeah, maybe not, maybe. We'll see.
And you have had some previous big films as well. You have Founder Day, and you acted in it, I believe. How did you find that being behind camera and in front of the camera? Was there a difference?
I love it. I mean, my roots are in acting, and I think that all the other stuff has emerged from that. So if I can serve the story in the process in that way, I like to do it. And Carson is right on the front lines and behind monitor and weighing in and talking about all that stuff. So I like doing it, and I think that in our world and the kinds of stories that we're telling, it's a way to, I think, help things along. I think it helps the process. But of course, it's case by case.
Yeah. And do you find you learn more from doing it? Have you acted in something and then next time you direct, you're like, oh, actually, we need this?
Totally. I think that, it informs the way I talk to actors as a director. I think that, just Carson writing and producing and editing, we're thinking about the edit the whole time based on the script. From the time we're writing the script. Yeah.
When you're talking it out, does one person lead more? Who's the ringleader between you?
It ebbs and flows. I mean, like, sometimes one of us has an instinct that we just have that implicit and learned trust. So if we're curious about something, you know, in a moment, the other knows to let that lead the moment.
Like sometimes if we're in a pinch and I really have to like get this shot, but I know we're gonna have to lose a couple things, Carson's off to the side like diagramming and making lists so that by the time I figure out what that problem is, he's like, here's what I'm thinking, and I go, word, okay, let's do that, which is great.
And then you have worked with Devin in the past on Founder Day. What was it like working with him? Like, he's such a big name, 13 Reasons Why.
I love Devin.
No, Devin's so sweet.
Hi, Devin.
Hi, Devin. No, he's so cool and brought so much to that project. Everyone did, but Devin is just so grounded. But you know, what more can I say? He has such layers in that as well. I mean,
he came in ready to play.
Yeah,
and that's just what we want with everybody who comes into this, is that there's this, you know, look at. I think everybody that comes in, if there's an awareness of it is so cool that we get to do this and we get to do this together, and they understand the story that we're telling, like that's all we can ask for. And Devin came in with that.
I will say too, just Devin being a part of that ensemble, it really sort of like reminded us just how exciting it is to have an ensemble of characters that bring a specific ingredient to each movie, and in some capacity our last several projects have had a larger ensemble, and we like to play with that sort of canvas.
How did you become a part of this whole project?
So obviously because I've done acting before and singing, got the audition, and I thought, why not? Everyone wants to be in a horror film, and obviously got the role, and and now I'm part of the Bambi Pooh universe.
Yeah, so talking about the Poohniverse as well, does it blow your mind how like of a cult classic it's become in such a short amount of time?
I know, I didn't realise. I mean, I didn't hear of it from before because I don't know why I didn't. I like horror movies, but you know, I'm not watching them on a casual 2 p.m. on an afternoon. But you know, once I saw about the Poohniverse and I saw how big it is and the cult following, especially in like places like US and stuff, people love it. So I'm really excited to see people's reactions to this one.
So I noticed about the Poohniverse because of these massive American TikTokers. So for me, that's when I first came on my radar.
You say that again?
For the big American TikTokers, put the Poohniverse on my radar.
I've seen loads of TikToks, people doing reviews and everything. It's really interesting. I'm like, it's so funny the stuff people say, but everyone seems to be like they really enjoy it. So yeah.
So in the trailer, it seems like you have a bit of a chase scene. Tell us a bit about that without giving too much away.
I mean, that was hard because obviously the Bambi was not real in the movie. In the movie is real, but when I was filming it wasn't. So I was kind of running away from nothing. But there's a bit of a chase, a bit of a back and forth, and I do try and escape. She does try her best, but you know, let's see what happens to Harriet.
So yeah, actually tell us about your character as well.
So my character Harriet is an interesting one. I think she wants everything on her, the attention on her. She's always a bit peed off, to be honest with you. But you know, I think you know her fate happens. You'll see. But she's an interesting one.
Also, I want to talk about music. You've got a new song out recently, haven't you?
I've got a new song out called Cardio, and I had a song out called Missing, which was great as well. Upbeat pop, you know me. New music and more music to come.
So when it comes to like making a song, how is that whole process? Because for me, I hear songs and I hear a beat, and then I don't know how they mix the words and the beat together. But how is that process?
Well, I feel like it's my dream to be a singer and a songwriter, so it really is something that I live and breathe. And when I go into the studio, we just kind of vibe with each other and see what happens. Maybe I'll write a song about Bambi, I don't know.
What I love about you as well is the hard work you put into, and you see that throughout your social media presence. We kind of we've watched your journey, and I also love how you give little throwbacks to the days when you started off in Love Island to now, and how much you've grown. For people that want to be in your position, like people that go into shows like Big Brother or Love Island who want to ultimately end up doing what you're doing, what advice would you give them?
I think if you believe in yourself and if you want to do it, keep going, because it's a hard industry. Same with being on TV, same with being in the music industry, same with being presenter, same with anything in this industry. It's hard, but if you love it enough and you dream it's your dream, then keep going and you'll achieve it.
Yeah. Have you got who would be your dream collaboration?
Oh, Dua Lipa, Diplo, Calvin Harris. Yeah.
And also, you've been on like BBC Radio 1 and all that. Like, how's that? How is it crazy to think like, wow, like that my hard work has got me to these places?
It's kind of crazy hearing your songs on the radio because you know when you were younger and you go to school and you just mum put on Heart 106.2 or something, you're hearing Hips Don't Lie, and then all of a sudden now I'm turning on the radio in the car and I can hear my own music, which is just kind of crazy. So I've had amazing support from BBC Radio 1, BBC Introducing, Spotify, Apple, so yeah, it's been amazing.
And also to Lisa, using your sound.
Lisa used my song on TikTok, big up to Lisa.
You met Talisa?
I have met Talisa before, but I used to be a big N-Dubs fan, so I was like, hey, full circle moment.
Tell me more about your character and what drew you to this script.
Okay, I play Kim. I basically am this like, no BS, like I'm a nurse, I'm tired, I just need my keys for my apartment that my boyfriend happens to have, because of course it's a horror film and he has my keys, right? So I walk into this whole situation and I discover the crazy stuff happening and I'm kind of like in the middle of it, and next thing you know I'm fighting some creepy people and getting bloody and yeah.
I know the poor thing, she's just like she just wants to go home and she enters the craziest thing.
What is going on in here?
My character, this is a little bit of a spoiler, so turn it off, watch the movie if you haven't, come back.
Yeah.
But my character starts out as Hazel, and I was kidnapped and trapped by this crazy cat obsessed family, and they put the soul of their pet, of their beloved cat Hazel, into my body and put me into this really grotesque, life-size, creepy black cat costume. And all of my mannerisms, they lock me in this den for years. I have all these like welts and like really gross, I was very greasy, gross. Then pretty quickly after you meet my character, I actually get ripped out of the costume and the spell is broken, and I'm just trying to escape this hellhole that I've been trapped in, and yeah, you'll see if I
escape this
if I do or not. Yeah.
Do you guys have any memorable moments on set that a day really stood out for you?
Whenever. So I had to go to Atlanta and work with a costume designer for this cat costume. It was so cool. He worked on Marvel projects, which was amazing. And I had to have my full face all the way to my chest completely covered in like latex, and that took hours, and I had to breathe through straws in my nose. But that cat costume actually had like real hair, and it got in. I would like choke on it, kind of like a cat with a hairball, and it was in my eyes. And I remember one day I had like 2 days off of set, and I had a chunk of hair that I found in my eye. And I guess that's my memorable take in the film.
Memorable moment. Honestly, filming this movie felt like such a weird. It was, for me, it was all overnight shoots. And I keep saying that I think for me, because I'm actually scared of the dark in real life, and we filmed in a house that is like supposedly haunted in real life. We had to do some basement scenes, and for me that was really creepy, so it's almost like I had to break through my fear and just kind of be there. And even though you have the director and you have the camera, I'm still in this place where I'm just like, I feel like I'm gonna pee myself, like.
You have to get yourself, you have to kind of shut everyone out, don't you?
So that was cool. That was pretty like oh.
Yeah. And then I'm getting moved on, but 2 quick last questions. You can sum this film up in 3 words. How would you guys sum it up?
3 words?
Oh, I would say fun, crazy, and perfect.
Funny, unexpected, and sexy. The girls are so sexy, not me, the other girls.
I mean, I'm wearing men's clothes and all.
No, but she's like a cat, and then Cerina.
And then last quick question before I get killed is, what can we expect from you guys in the future?
What
can we expect from you guys in the future?
Okay.
I just shot a feature film where I did my first #1 lead role, so that was very exciting. So that should be coming out pretty soon. It's called Whispers of a Secret Life, and that's my next thing on my docket. You?
Nice. I just recently worked on the TV show 911, and that was really fun. And then I was just told that Devious Mates is just kind of like actually airing here in the UK,
Disney Plus.
And I was like, oh, well, that's that, but I've done that already. So, and currently I'm actually working on writing a project of my own. So I'm excited because I've never done that before. So it's kind of like shifting gears, but really trying to embrace it and, you know, hoping for the best. So
What was it like working with Angela Bassett? Angela Bassett, what was it like working?
oh, she's like, I mean, she's inspiring. She's like this like strong woman. Jennifer Love Hewitt. Oh yeah. Sweetest. I can't explain the sweetest woman ever.
I know what you did last summer, just came back out. You guys.
Yes. And then and all the actors, honestly, it's just we're so lucky, even in this cast.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
just
the
like
cast is brilliant
Yeah.
So you said it's your first London premiere. However, I actually went to a screening of yours in this cinema, Cocaine Bear.
Oh, you did?
It was great. Can I ask about what was it like working on that with Elizabeth Banks and all that?
God, that was such a dream. I mean, I grew up watching these sort of monster movies and crazy, you know, animals that are too big for their natural size. Anaconda, Jurassic Park, even things like Alien, like those are the movies I grew up with. Jaws. And so to get to do a film that has a sort of essence of an animal gone more wild, I guess, it's so sick. And then to kind of turn into somewhat of a cult classic and to go viral early on and have people love it.
I loved it. I've watched it like 3 times.
It's so close to my heart. I mean, I could get emotional just thinking back about how that totally changed my life and my career, and so
it also looked
very proud of it.
It also looked really fun to work on. Was it? How funny was it?
Elizabeth Banks she's a absolute rock star. I've never experienced somebody who is so tuned in with actors, because she is an actor, but also such a boss on set, but in the most kind, compassionate, hardworking way. And she loves to laugh, and I love to laugh, so we were just cackling all day, improvising, saying the dumbest possible. 90% of it didn't make it in the film, but just on the floor, tears in our eyes. So you can't ask for much more, you know. Yeah, she's the best, and the whole cast. I mean, truly the best experience I've ever had. So thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Cocaine Bear.
No, I honestly love that film. It was so funny. And the screening was really fun as well. They had like obviously the backdrops like we had here. It felt like it was during like the end of COVID, so it wasn't.
Yeah.
You guys weren't there.
No, it was finally. Yeah, things were finally feeling back to normal. We had shot in 2021, so there were still masks and sort of mandates on set and testings and stuff. But one of the main reasons that she had said that she wanted to do this film is because it got to shoot outside, and it was being trapped in the house during COVID, and so that was one of the pulls. So yeah, that was a nice.
Say it's more gory, this film or Cocaine Bear?
APPOFENIACS. I mean that final scene. You know what I mean?
Feeling on the face.
Which one has more cocaine? Cocaine Bear. Duke is definitely on something, but I would say Cocaine Bear takes that win. Yeah.
And then lastly, what else can we expect from you in the future?
I did a film, and it's coming out in October in theaters, October 17th. It's called The Wilderness. I got to do it with my best friend, Hunter Doohan. So obviously that in itself was a dream come true. It's directed by Spencer King, an incredible director and now very close friend of mine. Amy Berg is a producer, Aaron Paul is a producer. It was a dream. It's a really heavy subject. It's about teen disciplinary camps that are still going on today. It's based off some true stories from the director and some of his experiences with those camps. It's heavy, but it's incredible. It's incredible. I'm really proud of it. So that comes out October 17th, and then I have another film coming out in February, around January, February, first quarter, called Nichols with Rob Riggle, me and Rob. I play his long-lost brother, or so I say I am. So that was a really fun one to do with him, and he's a blast. So,
mate, you might have to go. I feel
Faces of Death. Faces of Death. Everyone begged for Faces of Death to come out.
I will watch it.
Ask for Faces of Death. I love that one. Yeah, with Barbie Ferreira and Dacre Montgomery, Josie Tota.
But what was it like working with Barbie? I'm going to get told off. What was it like working with Barbie?
Oh my God, she's the best. I love her. We're homies. We hang out all the time. She's the best. Like, I have only amazing things to say about the movie star that is Barbie Ferreira. Love you.
We're here at FrightFest, 20 years on from the original.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit how you're feeling 20 years on here again.
Well, actually, what I love about this is it's the first time that it's screened at FrightFest, the festival, because it was the original premiere 20 years ago was hosted by FrightFest, but it was in July, so it was a one-off event. So to be part of the actual festival for the first time I'm so proud.
Feels like full circle then.
I know, perfect. I love it.
And what are your favorite, most iconic points of the movie? Like, when you think of it, what jumps out to you?
Oh, that's difficult. Well, there's certainly certain moments in it that I like to watch because the audience are suffering so much.
Watch off screen.
Yeah, well, I tend to watch the audience rather than watch the film. So, there's certain fright moments in it or uncomfortable moments in it that are great to kind of sense the audience's discomfort. And there's at least one, if not several jump scares. But there's one in particular that gets them every time, and seeing the audience react to that is such a buzz.
I mean, it definitely got me. Most of them did.
There you go.
And what inspired you to make this? Where did that come from? The main drive?
The main drive was I wanted to make the scariest film I could. I wanted to terrify people. And so many films that I was inspired by. I was like, okay, it's a very bleak, dark horror film with a bleak ending. I was like, that's the kind of thing I want to do.
Yeah.
So I did.
Oh, you did it. And if you could tell yourself 20 years ago, different things you would have done maybe, what would you maybe have changed?
I would have made it even more uncomfortable for viewers. Pretty much, yeah. It's like, I'm looking at it now going, that cave, it's small, but it's kind of nice. I'm like, what if we half flooded it with mud or something like that? How can we do it like that? Yeah.
Would you ever consider remaking, not a second one, but just a redone version of it in 2026 maybe?
I would consider doing a sequel or whatever, but only if it would have to be a different story and take the story in a different direction, and see what we could do with it. But I don't know. I'm open.
And what did you feel was the biggest challenges throughout the whole thing? Was it the set, the cast? I've heard the temperature was cold.
Well, it was cold for the actors. Definitely a challenge for them. Not so troubling for me. But what's the most difficult part? I don't know. It's so long ago. It was all a challenge, but I had such a great team. The creatives, had an amazing production designer, Simon Bowles. I had the amazing Sam McCurdy DOP. I had the fantastic Paul Hyatt on makeup effects, and an incredible cast: Shauna Macdonald, Saskia Mulder. Just what an incredible cast I had. So they made my job a lot easier.
What made you want to come back to do this film, and what made you want to join?
Oh, sorry, what was the last?
What made you want to join to be a part of the sequel?
I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of this is the real question. It's such a great franchise. I mean, yeah, having watched the first one, having read the script and being like, this is bonkers in the way where it takes the best stuff from the first one and makes it even crazier. It's just insane. I feel very lucky to be a part of it.
And for me, it was a no-brainer. To get to work with these incredible people and to get to work with new incredible artists and to get to travel to the best locations. And I got to have a lot more fun with this character for the sequel. She goes on a little bit more of an emotional journey, and that was so special for me to get to do that with this very broken human being. Yeah.
And obviously you seem to be quite heavily involved as well, co-producing. What is it like co-producing and also acting in a film? Can it be quite pressurized?
And head of wardrobe. Yeah, so producing, wardrobe, and number one. Honestly, it was such a fun challenge for me to do. There were times where I was like, this is a mistake, because I'd be in the middle of a scene and I look down at my co-star's wrist and I see a bracelet and I was like, is that there yesterday? Action, okay. So for me, it was a lot, but overall, if I had to do it again, I would. Would I do it again on another project in terms of wardrobe? And number one, probably not. But I have zero regrets, and I'm really proud of the way that the film looks. I think everyone looks amazing. And yeah, producing is another passion of mine, and so I do plan on continuing that journey. yeah, it was honestly just like a fun challenge for me.
So obviously influencers is the second part to the first one, influencer. What is the difference that fans could expect, well maybe not expect, watching this?
Well, I think with the first one we were such a small team, and we were just like, there's 11 people that made the film. We were just traveling with this tiny little movie around Thailand, making this movie with basically no money. And so I think coming back, there's a lot of things I wanted to accomplish with that first movie, but just didn't have the resources to. And I think with this one, not only were we able to just kind of like bump everything up to 11, we also were able to kind of explore the character of CW a little more and dig into kind of maybe what makes her tick and the relationships that she's kind of looking for. You know.
If there was any memorable moments from both films, firstly, which was better, the memorable moments, and what were the memorable moments?
I mean, the first one was so special because we were just this little renegade group making this movie, like basically just sneaking around Thailand making this thing. And so I think like they were very similar. We kept the same ethos from this coming into the second one, where we kept it still a very small group. We added a few more people and kind of expanded it from like a less than 2 month shoot to now this was almost 5 months that we were on the road. So I think for us it was very much just like it was cool to return and like expand on everything and yeah, kind of build on it.
How did you become a part of this film?
Yeah, so I got an audition request from my agents. Shout out to Luli, I love you, thank you. And once I read the script, I knew that this is a role that I can play. And more than anything else, it's such a uniquely written role. You didn't get this opportunity much. So I really put my best foot forward, and I was lucky enough to get a call from Chris the next day, and that's it. We did a little chemistry read, and the rest is history.
So it sounds, I mean, I don't know much about deep fakes, but it sounds so interesting with the whole world being more into social media, very web orientated. Did you have to do any research for this?
For the deep fake stuff?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. We've been really trying to stay ahead of the game with this film. You know, this film talks about almost future applications of deepfakes that we got to be careful of. So definitely, like the whole ChatGPT aspect of it, Runway AI, all those different models that were coming up. We were studying them just to see, just so we could authentically portray what our characters are going through. Because it's pretty scary just seeing it in real life. So once you realize that, it's pretty easy to translate that to film.
AI is also getting absolutely crazy as well. I saw a video the other day of Jenna Ortega apparently singing. Turns out it was AI. But do you guys incorporate any of that into the film as well?
Did we incorporate any
AI?
No, there was no AI incorporated in the film. I think Chris could speak more on this, but I'm just gonna echo what he said earlier. Using the deep fakes was definitely not something we wanted to do in the film, because we wanted people to watch the film and actually question if one's a deep fake or not a deep fake, and that authentic question is what drives the film. So we tried to keep it as clean as possible.
What inspired you guys to make this movie? You're really the foundation of it. Where did that come from?
I found the script back in 2019 through a friend of mine. Actually, it was another director who wanted me to produce a film for her, so she had me read The Red Mask. I read it, didn't think she was the right fit, but I really liked the script and asked her if it would be all right if I took the script, and found somebody else, and she was gracious and allowed me to, and that's how the script came about.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And yourself?
Yeah. Edy and I were friends, and we were trying to find something to work on together, and he told me about this script, and I don't do a lot of horror, but I do a handful of horror. I like elevated genre, so when I read this script, I was like, this is really special, and I feel like it's got a message, and it says something, and really smart, and so I was really excited to get involved. Yeah.
And when you did the casting, was there anyone in particular who you saw them and you're like, yep, that's the character?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we had 4 amazing actors, and we had 4 really important roles to fill. The first casting that happened was Inanna, and then we built the world around her.
Yeah, exactly. And they just all ended up being so amazing. You know, in low-budget filmmaking, you don't really have the luxury to do screen tests and have people together or chemistry reads and any of that. But Inanna, we knew she just really loved it and nailed it. And then Helena came in, and then we got Kelly and Jake, and we just they all just popped. And when we that first night with everybody on set there, and we just were like, wow, we have something really special. Yeah.
Do you think, as 20 years on, technology has changed so much? Would you be interested in redoing it with new technology and seeing different ways that you could push the movie further?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always have to
go with wherever technology goes, you have to go there. It's like getting an iPhone for the first time, and now I think CG is just another tool. And yeah, I'd love to see another one, but done with much more CG. Although Neil would disagree with me, he likes his practical. I'm always pushing for CGI. I think there's definitely ways to go.
And was it actually filmed in caves and fully underground? Like, what was the actual scenes on set like?
Oh, we shot at Pinewood, and all the caves are built. Very early on, we knew we couldn't shoot in real caves. Yeah, and you knew it'd be like days before someone fell over and electricity and all that problem. So yeah, it was a very cold Pinewood. Yeah, we had loads of cave sets, and yeah, it was really good fun. It was cold. Yeah, as cold as a real cave.
When you was filming, for me, there's a lot of jump scares in this. Behind the camera, is everyone jumping too when that's happening? No,
it's just a laugh. Everyone comes out to see someone getting stabbed or killed. Creatures come out. The first time, everyone's like, wow, scary. And then once everyone's seen it, the next day, they can walk by, go to the catering, sit eating their dinner. No one cares. So, yeah, there's no real jump scares when you shoot it.
Yeah.
It's all the music, the sound.
Yeah, that adds to it.
Yeah.
And when designing and creating the creatures, what were the biggest challenges that you faced?
The biggest challenge was we were moving away from foam latex into silicone makeups. Silica was quite new. Now it's industry standard. But at the time, I made that decision. I really want to use translucent silicone. And we had 6 weeks to design, test, and build all the pieces, which was working weekends over Christmas. It was a young me 20 years ago going, yeah, I really want to do this. Now I would think, oh my God, what are you doing? So,
you live. That's what life is for. All the experiences. Yeah. People, I literally just watched it. Did you get any good feedback yet? What have you been hearing from people?
Oh, they were all very stunned about it. They liked it because our documentary is kind of unbiased. Because I'm an independent filmmaker, don't have any ties to Rocky Horror, so we can say whatever we want about Rocky Horror. And I think that's what people appreciated about the documentary.
And what is it that inspired you to make it? Because like you said, you are an independent filmmaker away from it. What made you want to do this?
Actually, I'm not a big Rocky Horror fan myself, but I like the music. I watched the film a couple of times when I was in my teenage years. On VHS back in the day, if you remember. No, you don't remember. Anyway, and I always liked the music. And one day I heard, 10 years ago, I heard one song on random shuffle, whatever. And I was wondering whatever happened to Rocky Horror after all these years. I know that it was from mid-70s, and everybody knew about the amazing careers of Tim Curry and Susan Sarandon. But the other guys like Richard O'Brien, Pat Quinn and Nell Campbell, they kind of disappeared, at least from the international stage. And we started to investigate, doing a late making of. What's all at the beginning was meant to be a small 30-minute feature. But the deeper we dug, the more interesting the story got, the whole story. And because it developed in 2 directions. If you see the film mid-70s, you have the story how it came to pass with that stage play and so on, very humble beginning. And on the other hand, you have this worldwide phenomenon which is still relevant today. Millions of people know it. 10,000s of people are doing it every weekend. So the story became very interesting, and that's the reason why we did it, because not to actually embrace Rocky Horror itself, but to tell the story, which is, as I said, amazing from a filmmaker's point of view.
People that want to be a director and a producer, what advice would you give them?
Oh, wow. Learn from just make something and learn from your mistakes. Don't worry about, make whatever you can with whatever you can. That thing won't be the thing. It's all going to lead to the next thing, and just learn from your mistakes and just get better.
Yeah. Do it, hop in,
He had asked me, like, you want to hop in on this, and it was a very tight team, and that was the best. And say yes to the people that you are like, I love working with you, I think you're awesome, you're my friend, and work with your friends, create.
Oh yeah, my motto in life is make cool with rad people.
There we go.
So I was earwigging earlier and I heard that maybe Evan nearly got arrested. Tell did Evan nearly get arrested?
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, it was all one crazy night. Did he tell you the story already?
No, I overheard you saying it.
So this is the third thing in a crazy night that had happened. So Evan, the character's he's full of blood at this point in the film. His character Dean is. And the last shot was in a small town in Texas at a bar, and we left the bar, and I was like, we were actually having a drink to like, and then he was driving back to his hotel, and then I got a call from one of the other actors like, hey, I think I just saw Evan like pulled over by a bunch of cops. I tried calling him, no answer. I was like, it doesn't matter. And then he's like, yeah, but you don't realize he's covered in blood. It's gonna look suspicious. And
he wanted to shower. I didn't clean him up. I asked him, and he was like, I'll shower when I get home. I'm ready to just go, shower, get to bed. And I was like, I was driving, so I'm like, let me see if I can see him. I didn't see him at all.
Yeah. So so I kept calling him and calling him. He didn't pick up. So he said that basically he's going 5 miles per hour over the speed limit in a small Texas town, and then they pulled him over, and then one cop saw him full of blood. Next thing you know, there's like 4 cops' cars like pulled down on him, guns out. So, and that was after he already almost got a concussion, hitting his head on a rock, and I almost drove that van off a cliff. That was all the same night.
I twitch.
Yeah.
But Joe, how are you? You're here at FrightFest. I know this is a real big, exciting moment for you.
It's brilliant. I mean, the world premiere at probably one of the biggest horror festivals in the entire world. And as a fan, I've been here many, many times before. As an actor, I've never been here before. But also, Leicester Square, man. Like, what an amazing thing. It's the home of British cinema, and it's somewhere that people come from all over the world. So to be here, walking the red carpet, talking to you, what a buzz.
And it's a real special because you met your wife here.
She's not my wife yet, Molly, you're getting ahead of yourself, but she's my girlfriend. We've been living in sexy sin for 10 years. We got 2 wonderful kids together, and we met at a FrightFest. Yeah, it was incredible. So do you know what? There's a real romance in the air. She's here tonight, and I'm absolutely delirious that 10 years on, I get to be in a film that's here in FrightFest, which has done so much for us, and indeed horror fans all over the world.
And what is it that you love about horror movies? Like watching them as a spectator, but also acting in them?
I mean, for me, this is the first horror movie I've ever been in, but it's the utter commitment that you've got. Like, it's the jump scares, it's the story, it's the feeling that, that when you finish, there's no other film that moves you to checking under your bed and making sure that you leave the lights on and all that kind of stuff. I love that. I want to be moved as a human being. I don't want to feel beige. I don't want to feel vanilla. I want to feel alive. And the horror genre does that in spades. And FrightFest as well is the epitome of it. So to be here at the beating hub of horror is a beautiful thing.
So on set when you're filming, did you have to go home and check the bed before you went to sleep and leave the lights on?
Do you know what? Because I am the kind of devil on your shoulder in this, then I feel quite safe because it's everybody else that needs to worry. So it's one of the shoots that at the end of the day, I didn't have to go home and check my bed because I know that there's no one more frightening than me.
You seem like a real chappy chap. Were you playing pranks on people there? Or?
Do you know what? I think that it's really important. Like I remember doing when we did Broadchurch, which is many years ago now, and so I don't know if any of your viewers are going to be fans of Broadchurch, but we used to do that all the time. We had a cardboard cutout of Arthur Darvill, who many people will know from Doctor Who, and we used to leave him everywhere. We used to break into hotel rooms, leave him in toilets, and Olivia Colman once had the scare of her life because we left a cardboard copy of Arthur Darvill in a toilet. A scare is a beautiful thing, and I don't care how old you are or how young you are, to be scared makes you feel so alive, and I want to do that as long as I draw breath.
New film coming out, very exciting. What can we look forward to seeing in this film?
So this film, again, this film is the festival is FrightFest, right? So I mean, this is going to be a horror story. This is going to be, but it's not going to be horror, blood and gore. It's going to be something that messes a little bit with your mind. It's something that's it's gonna take you places. And I just hope the audience goes with it, and I don't hope they blink, baby, because it's going to be something.
It's very emotional.
It is. It really is. I mean, it's psychological. I mean, if you think at where all characters, where some characters where they are, other characters where they're going, and just this whole movie, this whole journey is a yeah, man. It gets dark. It's exciting, and I think not only is it going to be entertaining, but there is some themes in this film, you know, that we bring some light to and awareness to that I also, you know, want people to kind of notice, because you know. Hopefully at the end of the film the people can walk out and think, oh my God, you know, maybe my life is not that bad.
Is there any particular like stories in it that you want to like share to make people think more about?
Yeah, so I mean, I can, you know, so there's a lot of themes in this film, you know, from Steve's character where, you know, it's all about faith and keeping your faith and what that means, you know, there's some great religious themes in here as well, you know, what does it mean, you know, to be faithful, what does it mean to hold your faith and to keep it, you know, is it something that you keep even in the most dire circumstances, or is it something you throw out the window when you're unhappy, you know, and for my character it's something like, you know, what do you do when you hit rock bottom, you know, do you stay there, do you live with the cockroaches and the germs down there, or do you strive to bring yourself up? Do you strive to become better? And what will you do to bring yourself up to that point? You know, to bring yourself back to the light. You know, and it asks some deep questions, and I hope it gets the audience members thinking about it. And yeah, we'll see.
Is there any scenes in particular that we should really look forward to, or anything that's really special to you when filming? I like the giggle there. Give us what you're thinking about.
No, man, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but yeah, the second half gets kind of rough. Okay. But there are some beautiful scenes in this film, and there are some hard scenes too, man. Like between me and Steve, between me and Margot, between me and May, who plays the mom as well. Like there's some beautiful scenes between everyone, May and Steve as well. Obviously, yeah, man. There's some beautiful scenes here where it's like desperation. It's desperation at its core, from like every single character's point of view, and it's something that, yeah, man. I'm just excited for everyone to see.
I can tell you're excited. I can feel it coming off of you.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
Was there any like fun pranks or anything going on backstage? Because I know it's a serious film, what's going on?
Right, so Molly, yeah, man. You see, so it's serious between action and cut. It's very dark and it's very serious. But after cut and before action, you know, we do, you know, keep it light. You know, we say good job, high fives here and there, you know, compliments and whatnot. You know, trying to make light of this of the situation, because you know, Margot is she's real young. I'm not sure how old. I think she's around 10. I'm not too sure. But yeah, but she's like a real professional, man. And she's so good. Where between action and cut, she's like in it. And the moment she, you know, Simon says cut, we're relaxing. And it's like, good job, nice one. That was weird, wasn't it? That was cool. Okay, cool. Let's do the next one. So yeah, we do keep the set light, which is so important on scenes like, because you got to remember, you're making a film. You know, and it's your job as an actor to, like, you know, between action and cut, to be real, to you know, hit your marks, and also but to bring the real emotion to with the character and to behave like them and whatnot. But also after cut, you know, gotta relax, man. You know, you can't bring that stuff back home with you, you know. So you gotta keep it light, and that's what we did, and we had a great time. It's so funny, like you're gonna see this film and it's like real dark, but we kept it light, man.
Yeah. The Pooniverse universe. Sounds really odd saying that. That has become so popular, a bit of a cult classic. Does it blow your minds that you're part of it?
It does.
Yeah, I mean, this is my introduction to the whole universe, me being a part of it. And I'm like, right, this is actually crazy. Like, who thought of those kind of ideas? And like, the fact that we got permission to do that is sick as well. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected it to blow up at the very beginning to the size that it has. And now the Pooniverse is next. Very exciting.
What I noticed as well, when these big American TikTokers are talking about the Pooniverse, then you know you've got and they've been talking about Bambi as well. What do you reckon we can expect from this film?
I think it'll be darker than. I mean, we haven't seen it, so we don't know. But I think it'll be a darker, more serious tone compared to, say, Winnie. More like Pan in that it's serious and yeah.
I feel like the storyline in this as well. Like obviously it's all horror and gory and stuff, but I feel like it's got a really, really good storyline as well, which is quite like on a roller coaster as well, which I think is quite dope for this world.
And also I think you'll be rooting for Bambi, and Bambi would be seen as maybe the baddie, but I think actually the audience will be rooting for Bambi.
Because there was trauma behind it, you know, there's a reason.
Exactly. You're not very nice to Bambi.
What is your take on the fact that they have turned our Disney heroes into Disney villains?
Sorry, I didn't.
What's your take on the fact that the Pooniverse world has turned our Disney heroes into Disney villains?
As an audience.
I think it's great. It's original. I mean, there's far more many films coming along now, but Reese came up with a completely original idea at the beginning, and what's come as a result is been really exciting. So.
Yeah, man, it's art at the end of the day. It's art, it's creative, it's expressing yourself. So however you want to take the characters and make your story and be creative with it, like, it's a free world to do that, do you know what I mean? So it's exciting, man.
You guys have a memorable day on set? Really stands out to me.
Freezing.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. It was very hard, it was freezing, but it was worth it, do you know what I mean?
And I think we had one day when it was Tom's 13th birthday. So in our freezing cold hut, we all had a cake and sung happy birthday. It was a great sort of friendship. It was a very tight cast.
How was it acting with, I guess, technically thin air with the deer?
Well, it was just that. It was thin air. We did have a rough idea of, like, they had a head of Bambi that they used in some scenes just for scale and position and whatnot, but it was with thin air. I mean, the forest itself is almost a bit of a villain in it because it's quite a dark setting for the whole thing, so that it wasn't too hard to pretend that, you know, there's this giant destructive deer in front of you. It's obviously much more terrifying than what we had imagined once it's in the final film. It's quite incredible what they've done with it. But no, it wasn't difficult at all. The shoot was quite easy, just working with all the people who they knew what they were doing, they knew how to get it done, and it was a joy.
Yeah, that's it. I say the crew, if there was ever a time that I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing or where I was looking, the crew always knew. It was, I mean, for me coming in, this was essentially my first professional camera job that I had done at that point. So it was a lot of, we would do a take and I go, well, I think it was all right, but was I looking in the right place? Am I looking at normal deer height? Was that too big? That's the thing. It's with something like this, it brings a lot of the more technical aspects into it when you're doing the acting, because that's it. You don't have all of the visual cues. But I mean, from everything I've seen so far, I think they managed to do it in a way that it's pretty seamless now with all of the CGI and post-production all in place as well. I think, I think it's all come out very well.
You're looking in the right direction.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Comical moments then as well, whilst you're like, obviously not in the film, but like off, like the outtakes kind of thing. If you're basically.
Yeah, I mean, not too many for mine. Like mine, no. It's quite dark and serious. Everything that happened, the whole thing was very fun. The whole shoot was very fun. There wasn't too many like bloopers or nothing that happened that I would say was like a comedic moment, other than what ends up in the film, because there is quite a lot of it in the final product.
Yeah. I mean, I think for my character in particular, I think he serves as the comic relief for a few sections of the film, and so as such. I got to have a lot of fun just messing around with the character, and as we'd go into scenes in different takes I'd try out different things. We did have one moment that I was quite impressed with, which is there's a bit where my character is essentially sucking the chocolate off of these like chocolate covered nuts and throwing them at Benji, played by Tom O'Haran. And in one of the takes, we didn't capture it because it was the shot on me, but I threw it and it went right down the collar of his top.
Caught it in his mouth.
No, that would have been more impressive if anything. But perfect bullseye right down the collar. And I did celebrate that one quickly off camera and then went back into a take. Yeah, that's it. I couldn't not.
So Bambi, where are we rating it on the Pooniverse list of films?
I might be biased, but it's my favourite. I think each one is getting progressively better as they're figuring out the universe and they're figuring out how they effectively turn what's an innocent childhood story into a compelling horror movie. I think this is the best one. I think it's just the most well-rounded, the performances, the visual effects, the way it's structured. I think this one is the best, but I'm biased.
Yeah, well, I would agree. A shock. I think it's. I think we had a real benefit of having Dan on the project as well. Obviously, apart from doing some editing, he came in as a totally fresh direction for the film, and so I think as such, it feels quite fresh. Obviously, they've already had films released, they've got other ones that have been filmed but not out yet, I think, and that's it. I think as such we were able to get quite a new take on it all. And I mean, as I know Dan will tell everyone, it has a lot of heart to it, given, you know, which is quite surprising given the genre. But that's it. I think the actual human characters are at the heart of it. They're like the driving force of the film, and I think it serves the film quite well.
How you doing? We're here at FrightFest. Very exciting.
Yeah, it's my first FrightFest. I'm very pleased to be here.
Do you usually do a lot of horror stuff, or?
Yeah, I've done a couple over the years, but this is the first one that I think's any good, you know.
I know the director, Matt. I did speak to him, and he was really excited about you being in this and being the main person. He said that you're the hook part of it. How do you feel? Did you feel pressure with that, or?
No, I don't. I can't think about that too much, you know. I go quite straightforward when I'm working on something. I've got a script, and I've got to try and make it seem realistic, you know. And it's just, you know, it's a bit like being a plumber. That's the job. I got to go fix his toilet, and I've got to go make this character come alive. And I'm making it sound simpler than it is, really, because it was when I read the script, I just thought, it's not very often you read a character and you think, well, yeah, I can definitely do this. I can see myself, you know, slotting into this, and I kind of know which parts to reach into, those darker parts, you know, a little bit. So yeah, it was a joy, you know. It was.
So did you feel a real connection to this character, like having to reach into those dark parts?
You know what, weirdly, I did feel a connection with him. I had sympathy for the guy, you know. I mean, you see the film, you might not have sympathy, but I found a way of feeling sorry for him. He just was so passionate about his art. All he wants to do is write, and that's the one thing that he can't do. And he's prepared to kind of make the ultimate sacrifice for his art. He's prepared to strip the things that are important to him in his life, his relationship to both his girlfriend and his own sanity. You know, he allows himself to completely be released into the madness that he thinks he needs in order to write. And he might be right or wrong about making that decision. But,
do you think the fans who watch this can expect a few twists or shocks when they're watching, or?
Oh yeah, like no one can really guess how this film plays out. It's a really interesting, like, psychological thriller where you don't necessarily know what the hell is going to happen. It's a bit like the film The Machinist, or like a British Fight Club, with a little bit of Mephistopheles and stuff. There's some of those old tales about devils that come and lure people into the darkness. You know, it's really interesting.
So, what would you say is more challenging, right? Co-writing or directing?
I think both pose different challenges. Writing, for the most part, is you're creating from nothing. And when you're directing, you are creating off of a material and human experiences as it happens. And you have to be able to kind of like mold the creative river so that it flows in the singular direction.
So when it came to the cast as well, you got a great cast. How did you think of the perfect cast for it?
Well, I know Anthony had worked with Cerina before. And Jordan was just a perfect complementary character. Anthony, who co-wrote the film, knows Charlie in and out. And from there, we found Brittany, who is a ballerina, mainly because she is a cat-possessed human and has to move like a cat. And a ballerina is a cat, in my opinion.
Are you a cat fan?
I love cats. I grew up with two cats named Mario and Luigi. I don't actually know what kind of cats they are. They were just very temperamental. Mario is a miracle of a cat because he learned how to use the toilet by watching humans.
Was a human.
Yeah.
When it comes to your favorite day on set and most memorable moments on set, what were they?
I think one of my favorite moments is we filmed one of the scenes in a cave that was used to be used as a place to store beer or liquor or something, but that's where we have our ritual room, and it was where almost everybody was firing on all cylinders and having a great time and getting cat crazy.
Tell me a bit more about your film. How did you start to think of the film, and how did it all come together?
Yeah, I saw a deepfake for the first time in 2018, and I remember the first time I saw it. It was not anywhere near as good as it is now, right? But I saw the potential in it, and I had two immediate thoughts of this is very cool, and this is definitely going to be used nefariously. And so immediately I was like, oh, I want to make like a horror-ish movie about this. And it kind of floated in my head for several years. And then at the end of 2022 in like December, it just finally clicked. I knew like, oh, here's a story I want to tell. Because I had so many different stories I wanted to tell. And so then in 2022, like it finally clicked of like, oh, well, I'll just tell all of those in a interlinking storyline. I lost my train of thought. So you're just asking like what else like motivate? Yeah, and so something that is really important to me is, or just something I'm very just like intrigued by and fascinated with is the technology is amazing, but our human nature when it comes to perception, when it comes to certainty, when it comes to confirmation bias, everyone is so certain that their opinion is right, and what they think is happening is actually happening. And deepfake technology can so easily exploit that. And so making a film that like focuses on the human element of the downfall that can happen the human response to deepfakes. That's what I wanted to focus on. Less so the technology. The technology is there. The technology is the catalyst, but it's the humans that cause all of the problems.
Okay, John, so we're here at FrightFest in London. Very exciting. We've got 213 Bones. Tell us something we can look forward to, something exciting about the film.
Well, I think it's a classic whodunit from the 80s, homage to the 80s, right? So I think it's a fresh, slasher. A little bit of John Hughes, a little bit of Scream.
Yeah.
And with really great music from the 90s. We spent a lot of time, the director really liked, inspired by the 90s. He grew up in that era, Jeff Prim. And he really wanted us to do a 90s, movie with music. We have a great soundtrack, you can see that. So we're very proud to put it out there. I think the audience is a large audience. They'll like the characters, they'll like the grunge era, Doc Martens and the wardrobe. And they like the whodunit, because you never know to the end.
Yeah.
So I think we have a fresh material for the aficionados. I do.
I love that you mentioned the music there, because I find in horror movies particularly, the music really sets the scene and the suspense, and like if you take the music away, it almost changes the feel. So like I love that you guys put a lot of effort into that. Was that like a lot of people working or just a few people on that section?
Well, Jeff had his vision for music for sure, and he made us understand that, and we liked it. We became fans of the music. I come from a rock and roll background in Cleveland, Ohio. But the grunge music, I definitely know who they are, but I find myself listening to them more and more after. Yeah. And Jeff was responsible for that, and he was really really knew music. He knew cinema. He knew, the masters from the past.
Yeah.
Big cinephile. And Joyce, too, our executive producer. She's involved in casting. She gave Jeff the freedom to make, creative choices. And, we have some big groups in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it separates it from the rest of the movies in the genre, you know what I mean? Yeah. And we shot it with anamorphic lenses. Andrew Russo, our DP, shot it with, Hawk lenses. Mm-hmm. They're very good glass. Mm-hmm. And Venice 2 cameras. We had a great service production company in Spokane, Northwest Package, Richard Cowan. And we had a good collaboration, there at Molinaire here in London. We had a lot of help from really good places.
And it sounds like it was a great team effort. Everyone sounds like a big family, which is what you want to see, and that's what makes it the most authentic when people watch it. But what was the challenges that came with it? Like the biggest ones that jump out to you?
Well, it was a SAG strike.
Yeah.
And we didn't get our interim agreement to 6 days before day one of shooting. So they put us through the mill.
Yeah. Makes it all that more rewarding.
Yeah, but we're going to do it regardless. We're going to do it come hell or high water.
Yeah.
We weren't going to be intimidated by any,
Yeah.
We don't get intimidated.
Yeah.
So we're going to do it anyway.
And from 1 to 10 on a slasher horror scale, where would you rate this movie? What can the fans expect?
Well, I think you're going to get a 10. Because, again, with the music, the slasher, the homage to the 90s.
Yeah.
If you like
very classic.
horror aficionados will like this movie.
Yeah. You heard it here first. What inspired you to like make this film? What was the thing that drew you to it?
I think the thing I was really interested in was the idea of inspiration and where that comes from. So the story is about a novelist who can't finish his second novel even though his first one was a success. And he thinks in his delirium that his muse comes to visit him, but in the form of a drunk psychotic decorator. And they go on various adventures which escalate and become more chaotic and murderous, but they might also lead to genius. So it's about him going through this kind of spiral where his creativity takes him to a dark place, but it's also about what the possibilities of that might be. So maybe like the overarching kind of like metaphor is about creativity and inspiration costs something. It has to cost you something. So if you're asking an audience to give them 90 minutes of their brain to you, then I think that your responsibility is to reach into your guts and pull out something that really means something. And so that's kind of your job, I think, as a storyteller and a filmmaker, is to hopefully find a way of doing that without going as far as the character in our story does, and going to all kinds of murderous shenanigans.
And when you do have to do that and draw the audience in, do you find in a film you have so long, like 15 minutes, 20 minutes to get them hooked? Like,
the way you get them hooked, I think, is by casting the right leading man who is over there. So Danny Horn is a fantastic actor, but he also has this huge expressive face and these great big eyes. And I think that without him, it would have been a very different film. And I think that what we are trying to do is find a way for him to be the way in for the audience. And so we try and show what he's going through and how hard it is and why it's not working. And so you ideally put him in that situation that the audience recognises. And I think the thing that we know about FrightFest is that there's a lot of filmmakers here, there's a lot of storytellers. So I think that's also one of the reasons why people wanted to work on the film. People really gravitated towards the idea of portraying how a storyteller goes about their craft. And I've always been interested in that idea, the craft process.
was he the first person that you wanted to play that role? Was there anybody else who you considered, or was it like, this is his role?
We asked Brad Pitt, we asked George Clooney, they turned us down, but that's just what happens on lower budgets. But what we did have is we did have a really amazing casting director at ET Casting, Zita Konak, and she went through loads and loads of takes. But the person who came in first was our friend Joe over here. So Joe's quite a well-known guy in the UK. He was in Broadchurch, he was in Uncle, he was in Carnival. When Joe came on, that meant that Zita then felt that the casting notices would have more impact with the other actors, and we had some amazing actors here. We've got some of them here, Jake Mavis and Michelle Moran. So we were very lucky with the casting, but partly it was because Joe came on board earlier on and showed that vote of confidence in our project.
And I saw you all taking your press pictures, and you had such like a family feel. Everyone was happy. It was such a nice community. Did you feel that on set?
I think that there isn't another way to do it. Like, if you're doing it and you all hate each other, then you've done something quite badly wrong in terms of who you're working with. And the main thing that filmmakers, I think, are searching for is to find their tribe, like the people who think the same way about them. It doesn't mean you want to make the same movie, but like that you all are on the same page, you're going in the same direction. And this group that we assembled, we're so flattered and thrilled that they decided they wanted to work on it. They could have done something else on their weekends and evenings, but they wanted to make this story. So we feel really lucky that we got the people that we did.
So what inspired you to make this movie? Like, what was the main reason behind it? What really grabbed you in?
Well, so I wrote the film, and it's about animal cruelty, child abduction. So it's two things that I've read about over the last decade and a half, actually, which are like pretty much the most heinous things that can happen, in existence. And I was like, I personally, I think horror should be about pushing the boundaries of what it is to be human. So I was like, wow, you can't get more hardcore than this, really. And then I put in the kind of opposite extremes of what it is to be human, and that's the religious aspect of faith. And one of our lead characters, Steve Oram, is a vicar, and it's about of course religion has had such a big impact on the whole world forever, and but the central tenets of Western religion are like love your neighbor, forgive your enemy. So this is about cruelty to animals, child abduction, loving your enemy. So to my mind, that was like the three biggest contradictions you could come across in the whole world. And so that immediately for me made a pretty interesting subject matter to kind of bring the contradictions together and see what happens.
And that's really brave of you, because that's like really intense, deep topics that worldwide, globally, everyone are affected by that. So that's really brave of you to go forward with that. And was there anything that you was really trying to be careful around that you didn't do or step on anybody's toes?
I'm a pretty brave kind of guy, but there are things that we don't want to see, no one wants to see. So, you know, everyone knows about child abduction and what happens. You know, there's many what's interesting, there's many Hollywood films about child abduction, but it's like you never see really what happens with the what happens then. No one wants to. So I'm the same, but I push it to a little bit. So you see some of these things, but the main thing of this film is to push it to a point, to make the audience feel more than you would usually in an obvious horror film where the kids get abducted, whether it's Stranger Things, whether it's Prisoners, and same with the animals. But then again, still not show it enough where it just becomes vile and gross, because no one wants to see that.